In this episode, Ankit features KasKad team building borrowing and lending platform. KasKad initially started building directly on Kaspa Layer 1, however shifted to Layer 2 following the smart contract announcement.
Just borrow against our Kaspa and, learn to live out of the loan.
For now, lending is, in my opinion, not decentralized enough.
Ankit was particularly interested in teams' diverse backgrounds and what made them build KasKad.
I built a tech company in 2011. The name is 1011.com.
Plus, you will get to meet Kaspa's rising star, Elliot.
Did my master thesis with Jonathan on oracles. He was very good at explaining, much better than a lot of teachers I've had.
You'll understand how KasKad is prioritizing maths and focused on building a long-term project.
This platform is the embodiment of how we see things for Kaspa and how we envision its future.
Supported by Kaspa.com, leading Kaspa DeFi with DEX and lending. Igra Labs, atomic programmability on a Kaspa block DAG. Kaspa Finance, the first V3 DeFi protocol on Kaspa.
Welcome to XXIM Podcast, your home of decentralization. Today, I'm here with Julian, Elliot, and Jack from KasKad. Welcome, guys.
Hi, Ankit.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Thank you for your invitation.
Awesome, guys. Welcome. Nice to meet you all. I've been looking forward to a chat and the demo. But let me start by asking a very simple question. What is KasKad? Give me an elevated pitch on KasKad for people that I haven't heard of KasKad.
Yeah, okay. I think, Jack, you can go because you have the best pitch to explain KasKad, or I can go as you want.
No, if you want, I can start, but it's pretty simple, really. KasKad is our way to provide a lending and borrowing service on Kaspa because we strongly believe in the Kaspa ecosystem. We think it's tailored for finance, and we've been bullish on Kaspa for as long as we can remember, I would say. And I think this platform is the embodiment of how we see things for Kaspa and how we envision its future. And this is our way to service this to the community and to the participant of this proof of work.
Awesome. Thank you, Jack. So who's the mastermind behind KasKad? And what's the meaning behind KasKad?
Yeah, for the question of the mastermind, there is not exactly a mastermind between KasKad. It's just a few meetings before all of the teams that it makes sense at the end to create this protocol. Because I think we are convinced that Kaspa is the best network to imagine DeFi for the Web3 because, Kaspa, it's inherently conceived to function as a currency. It has the ability to process instant transaction at low cost. But most important for me, it was like the potential to become a trusted network for storing stablecoin because I don't know if you already experiment these kind of things, but when you have to store a big amount of value in the blockchain, currently it's not easy because you have difficulty to trust all the protocol. So we are convinced when we saw the smart contract was developing that we have to build a platform that can help people to store value and make decentralized finance in Kaspa.
I see. So no mastermind. But yeah, what are your roles, individual roles within KasKad protocol?
Yeah, maybe we can talk about our background and you will better understand.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
The role of each. Me, just to understand my background, is I built a tech company in 2011. The company name is 1011.com. Like 10h11.com. People can go to see this company they want. And it's a company specialized in collecting data, analyzing data, and visualizing data. We have some experience to work with McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and big brands in France. So it was natural for my team and this company to work in Web3 because Web3 is only a flow of data and it's to security and is both of aspects that we already experiment for more than 10 years ago. You need to know, if you look the KasKad's website in the page of about, there is a good part of 1011 team who is involved in KasKad, and it's most people who are in research team of 1011, because 1011 has a label with the French Ministry of Education and Research to make research on heterogeneous database and algorithm and visualization of data. So it works well with the project as a decentralized finance, because you need dashboard, you need database, and you need to understand the flow. And my role will be to be sure that the tech part is going well, is on the track, and that is secure for the user.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Julian. Elliot, do you want to go next?
Yeah. So I did my bachelor and master's degree in mathematics. Did my master thesis with Jonathan on oracles. Got interested in crypto and Kaspa in particular. Asked on the Discord if there was some way I could contribute, and then got lucky enough to work directly with Jonathan. Then I did 6 months in banking because I thought I wasn't meant to be a researcher. But after realizing banking was kind of boring, not very intellectually stimulating, I took a lot of time asking Jonathan for a way to come back. And so now KasKad is pretty good because obviously I know Julian pretty well. Quentin as well, I've met a while back. And it provides me a framework which I couldn't have theoretically. So right now I'm working by myself with Jonathan, so I can read papers, white papers, I can read statistics and do my theoretical models. But it's also very interesting to better understand how the industry works in order to shape the research better, know exactly where are the problems. So yeah, it's kind of a sandbox. I'll be able to work with developers closely, which I trust, and I like what they're doing. So I think it's a good symbiosis between us.
Awesome. And are you still working with Jonathan, right? Because you're still involved in the Oracle research?
Yeah, so the Oracle research is basically just me and Jonathan kind of guiding me around. So
right.
Obviously, I'm learning a lot, but yeah, so I had a grant from KEF.
Yeah.
It started in March, so I have, right now it's a 1-year grant. I don't know how it'll evolve after that, but for now, yeah,
I see.
Still March on oracles.
Awesome. So how do you manage your time between KasKad now and obviously working on the research part, which is, part of the core research, I guess?
So I think it kind of goes hand in hand. It's the same project. So there is going to be periods where I'm going to be very focused on research and theoretical. So I can spend I can spend maybe 3 weeks only focused on a model I've thought about. But at the same time, talking with developers at KasKad is just going to help me better structure my reasoning. So I don't see it as choosing one or the other. It basically, depending on where my mind goes, what I'm more focused on at the time, I'll adapt and see what's best. Yeah.
That's very cool. And Jack, what about yourself?
Yeah, so as for me, I already knew Julian for a while. I think almost more than 25 years. So I joined the crypto markets back in early 2020, something like that. At the time, I was still working as a real estate dealer, and the COVID crisis was hitting, as you know. So I was looking at my projections and my ongoing deals and considering maybe I was in the very risky business, even for crypto, mind you. So I was looking at somehow a backup plan for not only to keep myself busy and still keep on learning things, which I love, but also maybe find another way to build a business, because I wasn't feeling this real estate market really good anymore. So I went into a deep dive into crypto after a long discussion with Julian, actually, which I had met again after a few years pause. And at some point, I decided it was time for me to go full consumer mode because this is how I like to learn things, basically. So I think mid 2020, early 2021, it was a DeFi, Western and DeFi craziness. So
Yeah, DeFi
I
summer,
went
right? It was
DeFi
2021.
summer,
Yeah.
like the favorite song, right?
Yeah,
that we all love.
exactly.
So I went into that to a point where I felt I was able to, support, projects and communities and breaking down, complex and rather obscure,
Mm.
terms in DeFi, which was rather new. At the time, I was also deep into Bitcoin and also Ethereum, which was still a proof of work. So I was like, yeah, so Bitcoin is secure. Ethereum is programmable. I love it. So
I see.
while I was doing that, I've started to get flagged by some, project owners and project builders. So eventually I made my way up and ended up, a team member or project founders in some DeFi projects. So I did that for up until 2022. And then in 2022, I decided maybe it was time for me to really put myself deep into the market as a professional. So I started to work as a freelance contractor there. Was hired in some big companies, crypto companies, where basically I made a lot of deals and projects and product development. So I experienced yield farming, indexes, algo trading,
Nice.
businesses, tokenized businesses. So I was deep into that. And while I was doing that, I was also looking Kaspa very closely because it was 2022 and Julian was already talking to me about Kaspa. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm busy. I'll talk to you later. But at some point, I went deep dive into Kaspa. I was like, okay, so this is the next big thing. And I went back into this consumer mode. I needed to, go deep dive into the documentation of Kaspa, start to do some home mining, and eventually I ended up meeting with Quentin, which is who is part of the team. So now I'm solo mining on LSD, thanks to him. And while I was doing this freelance contractor thing, I was attending as many as Kaspa event as I could, trying to understand how a fully decentralized network can build itself and how people are behaving, which was very different from the stuff I was looking at from my professional position. And one day when Julian called me and told me, hey, remember back then this discussion we had 2 years ago when we were discussing how great it would be for us to just borrow against our Kaspa and learn to live out of the loan. I'm going to build that. Are you in? I was like, yeah, like, of course I'm in. So I quit everything I was doing and here I am. So mostly I'm here for the tech part of the project and the tokenomic side and the design side of the smart contracts and how we can incentivize what we want to create.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Jack. That was great. Guys, I haven't asked you. I think Jack briefly mentioned that he learned about Kaspa from Julian. Julian, how do you find Kaspa? I think Elliot has mentioned his direct contact with Jonathan. So I think we can skip past Elliot.
Yeah, it's a long story, but just before that, if you want, I can just explain very quickly the rest of the team because they are not here.
Yeah, please.
But they are important for I'm sure for everyone to understand because we really believe that it's important to be doxed. It's something that seduced a lot of us when we begin to be interested by Kaspa because most of the core contributor was doxed. So you can see we talk about Quentin, but I think in English everyone say Quentin. In French it's Quentin. Is one of the first miner in Kaspa. He has a big company mining, and he helped us, Jack and me, to mine Kaspa. And he's really good to find partnership. He's really strong to do that. So with KasKad, we will need to find good partner at every time of the project, and it's the role of Quentin to help us in this way. After there is Anton, who is a lead system engineer and developer backend architecture and blockchain, who will lead the smart contract part and the security of the smart contract of the protocol. After Pierrick, I talk about it. It's member of 1011, is a backend developer and front-end developer too, but Marius will help him in front-end developer, even with UI and UX design. And I would like just to thank you, everyone who give energy to Marius, because for the first version, what they see about the website and our interface, he received a lot of good vibes and a lot of congrats. So thank you to everyone to give us energy like that. And I think I forgot no one. Yeah, I talk about everyone. Like, you have the core team of KasKad, and awesome. you can find every LinkedIn or X account on the page about in KasKad.app if someone wants to know more.
Yeah. I went through the website. I think I see everyone's faces there, which is very important to see people, what their backgrounds are and what they're working on. So I'm quite pleased to see myself that you guys mentioned everyone there. And I must say, though, I love the UI. That was my first feedback to you guys, and it's quite a neat and clean UI.
I will show you some interface with you, even if it's not a demo, for people to understand our artistic direction that we want to build on KasKad. But to not forget your question, how we met KasKad, because it's a long story. I found in July 2022, but the story is funny because with 1011 we build a bot that is able, when an influencer is following a new account on X, that we will have an alert about which influencer follow who.
Okay.
So we have some tracker on some influencers. For example, you can follow Vitalik Buterin on Ethereum.
Yep.
If Vitalik Buterin follow your accounts, you will know which account it is. So we have that on different influencer, and one is Crypto Wizard. Maybe someone knows Crypto Wizard on X. He has 500,000 of followers. And I saw he follows Kaspa. And I remember well because I was in Martinique. It's a French island. And it was the week that I would like to not touch the computer and not work. And I was just relax in a wood cabin close to the beach in Martinique. And I saw just that on my phone, like Kaspa, and I click and I visit the first website. It was not the website, but Kaspa.org.
Yeah.
But what helps me a lot is I saw all the white papers.
Okay.
And we have some rules for 1011, and we work with Jack at this moment to this concept too. We have some rules about what is a good project in crypto to invest or what is not. And we have some parameters. And when I begin to check Kaspa, it was all in green. Like I was like, no.
What are those parameters?
And it was...
what are those? Come on, Julian. Now you spill the beans.
First, we have real white paper, scientific white paper, not a git book that explain we make science, but real scientific white paper.
Right.
That was the first. There is one. It was one variable. There is to be doxed. The team is doxed. It was important because when you don't know where you will put your money and you don't know who is building it, sometimes it can be scary. So we would like dox team. After, we would like to kind of fair lunch. It's very rare, but kind of fair lunch can help. Like,
I see.
If there is not a lot of distortion between some VC and the investor will come after.
Yeah.
And a token utility. But there is several, but I give you some.
Fair enough.
And I saw that, and it was the worst. It was the worst week for crypto because I think ETH was at $900. So it was horrible. I was broke. Like I don't have a lot of money to invest, but I was like, okay, I go all in. Even at this time, I was like, okay, I have to invest. I will never see that again. And I go and I begin to join the Discord. It was we were 300, I think, in the Discord. And the miner sells Kaspa in OTC. I remember.
Yeah, of course.
It was crazy.
This is 2022, right? So this is crazy times for Kaspa. And But that's very cool story. I think people will enjoy definitely, Julian, your story. Elliot, quickly, I'll ask you the same question. What was your first reaction when you came across Kaspa?
So I think at the start, so I've always done math, but not because I was particularly passionate, but because I was okay at it, and I always saw crypto as more of a gambling, financial, just people getting rich overnight. Obviously, when I had a little bit of money and some friends talking about crypto, started to look into different projects. At first, you kind of get lost because there's all these very nice. They're selling a bit of dreams, saying we solved the trilemma isn't anything new. A lot of big claims, and I think surprisingly, when I came across Kaspa, so it was performing very well at the time. It was halfway through 2023, so it was pretty good start. Not interesting at first, just by money go up, and then when I looked at the white paper, I looked at the white paper and saw that it was actually very similar to what I was doing theoretically. So it kind of piqued my curiosity of, okay, crypto isn't this magical world where something I cannot understand. And when I saw the theory and I was like, okay, this is pretty interesting. Started digging into it, and it was at the time, very correlated to what I was doing in class. So in that regard, it piqued my curiosity. Yeah, it probably could have been any other white paper.
Yeah.
I mean, this one was very well written also, so I could understand even though I had no background at all in crypto.
Yeah. That's cool.
And started digging a bit deeper, saw some Medium posts from Shai, read quite a bit of what Shai was talking about, and I liked the humble approach, the education more than not like developers not talking about the money. So I saw it as very academic, and then I understood that it was a way to stay very academic and very theoretical while doing something that is useful for the world. And that kind of started a little passion when I entered the Discord and asked, so had Jonathan in our first call, he talked to me about MEV, which I knew absolutely nothing about. Had to concentrate quite a bit, but he was very good at explaining, much better than a lot of teachers I've had. So all that together kind of got me into, okay, I have to do my thesis with him at least and see where this will go. I think that approach I've kept, and I really like the philosophy of Michael, Jonathan, all that. So I'm very happy to be here.
Awesome. Guys, let me ask you this. Within the Kaspa layer 2s, right, there are a few protocols that are being built, right? Kaspa.com, we actually spoke to Sione. They're actually going to be launching their, lending and borrowing protocol. We obviously have Zealous guys with their lending and borrowing, and Kaspa Finance, I believe, also going to be launching. So what makes KasKad different? What is the key USP that you guys are thinking of bringing? I have a follow-up, but I think I'll start with this one first.
First of all, I think I want to say that I would rather have this than just being the ones building a lending platform on Kaspa and being the sole people doing that. It would be super sad, right? So as much as I like competition, I think we need competition, and we are all for it. So I don't think, and I think Julian is thinking the same, and Elliot as well. We don't think in terms of really USPs, but mainly what are we good at, basically with KasKad, and this is how we focus our work and what we want to bring to the community. And I think the way I see it, I see 4 points where we can showcase our strengths, and one of them is definitely the oracles, thanks to Elliot's research and work on the subject. The second I can identify is how KasKad is going to incentivize a certain type of behaviors that we want to see on the Kaspa ecosystem, because we know how important it is to drive adoption, to drive liquidity, just as Jonathan said during his podcast with Vlad, if you've followed it. So we know it's important to not only provide an Aave fork, but also to incentivize, some constructive behaviors that gonna, stay on the ecosystem. And obviously, a third point is definitely how we are going to approach the UI, UX, and user experience, on KasKad, because we think it's an important point and a key factor on how we can onboard people. And lastly, I would say education, because we are deep into education. We are deep into clarifying things and explaining things and breaking down, systems and making people more aware. So maybe we can talk about this as well. But
okay, yeah, that makes sense. And before I think Julian or Elliot, you guys answer, let me probably set the scene here, right? As Jack said, the competition is very, very good, right? And people might not know this, but Ethereum actually has over 50 borrowing and lending protocols, 50, right? And Solana has 7 to 10. I think numbers change. In fact, competition is very healthy for any ecosystem, especially a up and coming ecosystem like Kaspa, right? Just to give you some names within Ethereum, and I'm sure you guys have looked at it, right? There's obviously Aave, which we'll be talking about because you're forking Aave, right? There's Compound, there's MakerDAO, the Morpho, there's Allure, there's Cream Finance. So there's plenty on Ethereum alone. And then on the Solana side, there is, as I said, 10 Camino Finance. So it's natural and it's healthy to have competition. But I think I must say, though, each platform, each protocol has some uniquenesses, especially now because they're mature, they're well developed. So I think perhaps that's the question I wanted to ask you guys, like where you see yourself differentiating, because each platform I think will differentiate one way or another. So where do you see, and obviously Oracles is one area you guys already mentioned.
Well, maybe I can jump on the second point I mentioned, which was how KasKad is going to incentivize, supplying assets and borrowing assets, and how we are going to make use of the Oracle technology and the on-chain participation that we are now able to, monitor thanks to the smart contract layer that people are pushing on Kaspa. And the way we see it, because we've studied, Morpho, we studied Aave, obviously, we studied also some other projects like Velodrome. They all have this, game theory inside their design, and this is how we thought, KasKad. We know that we need to do more than just a simple, Aave fork, which is already, one challenge. But where we are aiming at is really use more tools to make people understand DeFi and consume DeFi and actually be incentivized in using Kaspa the way it's supposed to be, meaning lend it, use it, trade it, whatever, participate in the network, because we know we need to incentivize, free transaction for the miners. So I cannot reveal exactly how we are going to do that right now, but we will obviously. But we've made a lot of effort.
Yeah, Jack, you can't come to XXIM and not reveal things. But no, sorry. Fair point. Just whenever you guys are ready.
No, maybe just one point. As you understand, we have a team that is really focused too on research and development, because Elliot is focusing on it. But Pierrick, Marius, and me have a strong experience too in research and development in tech. So I think it's something important. First, it's in the veins of Kaspa to be in research and development, but it always brings new opportunity or new features because you make the research. It doesn't come like that. It's because you make research that you succeed to evolve and to have an original platform. And one point that we don't talk about it is like we work too strongly with regulation and with lawyer to have the better framework to have a good compliance on KasKad, and to be sure that we can evolve and continue and deliver services for long term. because I think it's something people wants to see. It's not just a platform who will deliver for 1 year and after we'll have problem with the regulation, but we already take that in our hand to be sure that what we build is regulated and is legal.
Yeah, awesome. So are you guys thinking of a DAO-like structure over time?
Exactly. We mean that we will share some similarities between what we offer and DAOs, and we will have some voting systems implemented in the dynamics. So a lot of pretty cool stuff actually.
Yeah. Okay. And hopefully, you
have to comply.
Yeah. And hopefully, I guess for the US listeners, if the clarity gets passed in the Senate, hopefully it'll give us clarity around the distinction between securities token and commodities tokens. But cool, guys, let's move forward. Are you thinking of, like, do you have a preference between Kasplex or Igra, or or you guys are just like every other developers, right? Like all the other builders are thinking, whichever layer 2 gets launched first, we'll launch it on them. So is there a similar line of thinking?
Yeah, it's a good question. We study both of the solution because we have a view on Kasplex and Igra. I think we will announce the layer 2 who is the most favorable for our project soon. For the moment, we don't finalize which one we would like to choose. So we just continue to explore and to talk with the team because it's an important choice, and we will see how each technology works, because we would like to be here for long term. So, but we are open, and we talk with each party. We are open, but we will not say today which one we choose.
Can I ask Julian then, what are you looking as a comparison between Igra and Kasplex? Because Kasplex, I don't believe they provided any documentation so far, right? Compared to, I think we know at least somewhat on the Igra front. So what are you looking at? Are you talking to Kasplex and Igra team?
Yeah, it's more about how all the things they said and all the documentation of testnet we have at disposal. We just check which one we feel more comfortable in terms of design and in terms of stores, because there are two approach that is different in technology, but even in the team. So we just have to feel how we feel comfortable to develop. It's because I think it will be too good layer 2, and it's very good we have these two projects on Kaspa. But most important is how the tech team feels with the people and the approach of the tech.
Yeah. So to be confirmed.
To be confirmed. I understand I'm a little bit political when I answer to your question, and maybe you smile because of it.
Yeah. No politics. I think we all perhaps need to know, certain things. And when we have Igra guys twice on the podcast, we have had Kasplex once on the podcast, and we try to push them both to tell us what they're building. And also now I've spoken to Sione, I've spoken to Louis, like the guys are building, and they sort of share their experience building on both. But if you want to take time, of course, take your time.
And when we begin this project, it began in March or April. We begin without Kasplex and Igra. So at the beginning, we would like to maybe try a centralized version of KasKad. And when they explain, okay, we will have a layer 2 smart contract, we say, okay, perfect. We will not launch a centralized version. We will follow one and develop the decentralized platform that it will better design with the Kaspa and the need of Kaspa community. But if you want, I can show you what we already did in centralized version, but we will not launch it. We will just use it in intern with the team, but we will not launch the centralized version, because I think it's not the best way to launch this kind of product because we will have smart contract in few days, weeks, or months.
What does that mean, centralized version of KasKad?
So, yeah, I think I can show you maybe with some demo, but centralized version, it means more that you need to have human interaction to be sure that all the things happen. When you are decentralized, it means it's smart contracts will execute the things that should happen, and that everyone can read the smart contract and be sure the things will happen. So it's decentralized in a way that there is a supercomputer who will manage important things. And I said centralized because when you have human who have to do things, you have to trust a human and not a machine. So
yeah, I guess my question was, how can you build, not what decentralization is, how can you build KasKad that is centralized?
I mean, you could have a centralized algorithm doing what a smart contract does, but compared to a smart contract, any centralized algorithm can, it's like Binance, right? They can override it. So it wasn't ideal. It was just more in case of if smart contracts launch too far down, seeing how eager is the community to have a lending platform. But obviously, the way I see it, even now, from my research, all oracles are centralized, in my opinion. So
Yes.
You can have a decentralized network and lending, but your oracle is, if Binance decides to manually override their API, billions are going to be lost across the board because everyone trusts Binance to have a correct price. The way I see it is more, you don't have to, so Binance does not lose anything apart from reputation from just manually switching their API. An ideal framework was if the whole of crypto was running on something like Hyperliquid, but they also manually changed their oracle not long ago. So yeah, for me, decentralization is kind of a spectrum, and for now, lending at least is, in my opinion, not decentralized enough, which is also the point of my research.
Yeah, and we've seen many times, right? Most of the protocols been hacked because through the oracle manipulation, right? So it's something that we've seen many times. Let's go through the slideshow that you have quickly, and you can show us what you initially built or thought of building, and then what is going to be different.
do you see my slide?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. So to understand the centralized version, I will just begin by this features is like when you would like to borrow, you can borrow USDC, for example, with KAS deposit. So you will give the KAS deposit how many KAS you would like to bring in collateral. You will have the loan amount and you will choose your LTV. So you have all this information with details at the back. When you go to the next step, it's here that it's not really fantastic because as you see, it's centralized because in this version, you don't connect your wallet. You will just give your USDC wallet address and gives you KAS wallet address. After that, you have to confirm that you are okay with the loan you will do. You have a summary, you accept the details. And after that, you have to send your KAS in collateral on our protocol. So when we receive the KAS, we will verify it's a good number for the collateral and we will send you in the address you give it to us, the USDC, for example, on your wallet. So at this moment, the mechanism of borrowing is activated and you can follow it on your dashboard that you can see your collateral, your loan, your interest, the liquidation price you will have. You can follow the KAS price and you can understand in real time, because we would like to build a transparent oracle. You can see in real time the alert of the price, and if you are liquidated, you can understand why the oracle take the decision to liquidate you. So this version, you see, you don't need smart contract, but what is the problem? The problem with this version is you need to trust the people behind KasKad that they will send USDC on your wallet when you send the KAS here. So with smart contract, it will be the smart contract we will do it. So it's perfect for people because you can see even in the centralized version, you can have your own oracles and you can have automatic liquidation, automatic alert. It doesn't change a lot, but it's when you sign contract and when you finish your contract, it's really important. It's transparent and you don't have to trust human. So it's for that we work on that. We test it. It works well, but we were like, okay, maybe we can start with this if there is no smart contract, but few days or quickly after they announce smart contract will come. So we finalize this version in June, just in intern. And we will say, okay, we will announce KasKad when we will be sure we can have all the team to do it. Okay, not as decentralized, but with smart contract and no human. And it's for that we just talk about KasKad the last days.
Awesome.
Maybe it's more clear.
No, I think it's clear. I think, once you're in crypto, once you've been in this industry for some time, you don't even think about these things because, borrowing and lending has been like operating on Ethereum for a long time. And that's like how things are. So I like that you guys came up with an innovative solution to make it centralized just to launch. And obviously, once the smart contract goes live, you can convert it to decentralized. So thank you for explaining, and I get it now.
Yeah, and this version helped us a lot to understand which solution we would like to choose.
Yep.
So it was not just, the ID can look stupid, but it helps a lot to bring some features. Even for the oracles, for Elliot, we have a lot of discussion about how we would like to begin. Elliot understand more things about new flow of data who is coming in Oracle and how we can manage it. The solution with AV v3.3 is the best to fork and to develop with smart contract.
Yeah. No, it totally makes sense. So I'm looking forward to having you guys back on the show once you have something to show us. But for this session, I want to wrap this up. So I have a question which I'm asking everyone now. So guys, where do you see Kaspa in 2 years' time?
That's a good question. I can start if you want. I don't like making predictions, but feeling the pulse of the Kaspa ecosystem, the more I see it, the more I think Kaspa is prone to be, some kind of Linux solution for crypto, completely open source and really tailored for finance. Because when you think about MEV, when you think about high throughput and low fees and proof of work, I don't see how institutions couldn't be interested in trading a lot of volume on Kaspa if it's super secure, because we know there is a lot of money being extracted from big trades on many platforms, and people are making millions just front running everyone. And if we can provide a solution that prevents this, I think we are going to attract a lot of people. But also, I think I was recently amazed by the creativity of the community around Kaspa. Well, we don't have smart contracts yet, and yet we saw Casia messaging popping up. We saw this K platform being built. We saw a lot of new ideas being built on Kaspa, and even for me, I didn't anticipate this, at least not this early. I wasn't thinking people would actually build existing working products already on Kaspa. So to me, it's like this big, fertile, environment where you can build pretty much everything, from finance to actually tools, and it works because it's flawless. So this is why I see Kaspa growing, like a bit of everywhere, basically.
Yeah. Awesome. Elliot, do you want to go next?
Yeah, the way I see it, I think is kind of with the same vision Jonathan had when he started crypto. For me, it's more a beautiful mathematical problem. There's a lot of things to solve. I like the way that whatever Jonathan is working on, or Michael, at least what I've seen, are on problems that have not been solved. So whether Kaspa works or not, I think it will. But even if it doesn't, I have a lot to learn. I'm very glad to be working with this kind of philosophy and on very interesting problems, which I feel have not gotten enough attention in the space. So yeah, for me, it's beautiful either way, and I hope I can work for Kaspa or for doing research with Jonathan as long as I can. So yeah.
Awesome. Julian, you want to wrap this up?
Yeah, I think that there is the need of this platform, so I'm very positive. It will depend for sure of the adoption of people, if people will use Kaspa, but if we continue like a lot of team to build app on Kaspa, I'm sure it will help. And as you say, competition is good because it will provide some services and the better will rest and will be used. So that's really good. And some things that I like is a lot of people say too, yeah, you need to have revenue for the layer one, for example, to succeed. It's one of the narrative, but what is fantastic with Kaspa is not a crypto company. And that's for a network and for a layer one. It's so perfect because it's not question of expense. It's just question of, even if it's few revenue. It's for that I believe the Kaspa icon will be sustainable. The price of the KAS coin will be sustainable, and it's important too because don't forget we have miners and they need to have revenue too. So I'm positive for the next 2 years, and I don't make prediction of at all for the price or for something, but just focus on building on this network.